Hey there everybody, welcome back to my channel where I'm doing some photography today. I'm out here walking some railroad tracks here, just out of the town that I live in here in Colorado. It's a pretty beautiful spot. It's hard to actually kind of believe this is, I don't know, only probably about a mile away from the town that I live in. Not that far away. I'm probably parked about a mile away. And, you know, there's a lot of snow on the ground here in Colorado in the wintertime, and although it's starting to melt down quite a bit, there's still way too much snow to be doing any like hiking out in actual like backcountry and stuff. So I decided to come out today. I just wanted to try and take some photos and just kind of knock the rust off from my photography a bit, because I haven't been out shooting nearly as much this winter in the past few months as I normally would be for the rest of the year. And I kind of want to talk today about why I mostly pretty much only shoot handheld in my landscape photography. I actually use a tripod like very little. I've talked about this a little bit previously in previous videos of mine. I actually made a video, I think back last June or July, called "Do You Need a Tripod for Landscape Photography?" And I kind of like shared all the reasons like why I don't use a tripod that much. So right now I am using a tripod to film this video, but to be honest with you, I use my tripod more often to film my videos and film B-roll and film, you know, the parts I'm talking about my camera, than I use my tripod to take actual photos. I have a kind of a theory as to like why my photography style developed the way that it did, where I don't shoot a lot with a tripod and I prefer shooting handheld, and it's actually probably because of the cameras that I've been using since I started learning. I've only had two mirrorless cameras, and they're both Lumix cameras. The first one is the G85 that I'm shooting on right now, and the second one, my main photography camera now, that you were just seeing in some of the B-roll of me shooting with, all the photos that you just saw in this video were taken with this camera, with the 25mm on there. I'll have really incredible image stabilization. So I think for me, the fact that these are like the first real cameras I started using had a fantastic image stabilization. I realized that I didn't need to use a tripod to take exposures all the way down to like a second. And, you know, really I just find that not using a tripod just heavily speeds up my workflow when I'm out actually shooting, because I don't have to take this thing out and set it every single time that I want to take a photo. I don't think there's anything wrong with using a tripod to kind of like compose your shots and everything. I actually think that's probably helps you maybe think them through a little bit more, helps you think your compositions through a little bit more, when maybe when you're handheld you kind of like move through them a bit quicker. So I could probably benefit maybe from using a tripod more often to compose my shots, but personally, you know, photography to me is all about just doing it because I enjoy doing it. So I have a lot more fun shooting handheld than with a tripod, so I'm just going to shoot handheld because it's all about what works for me and what I enjoy doing. After thinking about it for a bit, my personal theory as to why I developed my photography style, my shooting style, doing mostly handheld, I think it's because of the cameras that I was using and the fact that they have really amazing built-in in-body image stabilization, which allowed me to not have to use a tripod as often as maybe someone who started shooting with cameras that didn't have image stabilization at all. Because at that point, then it's like, well, then you would have to use a tripod for a 1 second exposure or a half a second exposure or something like that. When with these cameras, you just don't have to. Like, you can, as long as you have a steady hand and you hold it right, you can take, you know, I can take up to 1 second exposures and it's very sharp and it not really blurry at all. So that's my theory as to why my photography style developed the way it did and why I shoot handheld so much. And now it's just such a part of like my shooting style that I don't think I'm ever going to stray away from shooting handheld, and why I'm probably always going to be mostly a handheld shooter and kind of only use a tripod when it's absolutely necessary, which is shooting, you know, video like this when I'm talking to the camera, or when I want to do exposures longer than 1 second, which to be honest with you, I don't do that often, but sometimes I do. Or when I want to get photos of myself as well, then I have to use a tripod for that, because also I can't hold the camera if I'm in the photo. Anyway, I hope that bit of a rant as well makes sense as my theory as to why I probably mostly shoot handheld, and some people shoot with tripod more. I don't think that either way is right. It's all about what you prefer doing and what works for your workflow as a photographer when you're out shooting. I do think it heavily impacts the type of photos you get, though, because, you know, I can look at photos from someone who shoots more handheld stuff compared to someone who shoots more with a tripod, and honestly, their style of photography is completely different a lot of the time, in my opinion, which is really cool because you get more, like, you know, you don't want everybody to be taking the same photos. If everyone only did long exposures and only used a tripod, then, you know, everyone's photos would probably look about the same, which I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it, but it's nice. It's kind of interesting to look at how my own photography style developed over the years based on, you know, what cameras I was using, what equipment I had, and just how that affected how I take my own photos. Did I ever tell you guys how much I despise winter? I dislike winter more than I dislike using tripods. By a large margin, actually. Tripods are very, very helpful and convenient to have. But yeah, I have no plans or intention to do another winter here in Colorado. This is way too long. It's like, it's almost April, you know? There's still, look at this, it's still snow everywhere. Anyways, I hope you guys maybe took a little bit of value away from this video. I don't know, I just wanted to film something today and get out and take some photos today, and I think I took a few photos that were kind of cool. Nothing amazing, obviously, but kind of cool, and I got to discuss, you know, my theories on how I developed my particular landscape photography style. So, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree with me or you agree with me, or yeah, either way, that's okay. I have no issues with that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about that, and maybe you could explain a bit about your photography style and how you think you developed yours. If you like using a tripod a lot, or you don't like to use it a lot, or maybe you're a bit 50-50 with it, let me know in the comments. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel down below if you want to see more videos about landscape photography. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.